to go ahead and take. My opponent made another choice and went queen to f6. And queen to f6 has got, it looks like it's got a couple of things going for it. It's aiming at the bishop, because if I let my opponent do this, queen takes bishop, queen takes queen, pawn takes queen, and then you're in a situation where black has managed to go up full minor piece, has managed to go up a bishop. So if I let black do that, that would be that would be bad for me. But the problem is that also does defend the g7 pawn, at least momentarily. But what black, I think, didn't see here is that I have bishop g5. The queen, the black queen, cannot simply take the bishop because I am still aiming straight for a checkmate if black chooses to go ahead and take the bishop. So black has to do the defensive move that was planned before, but without being able to take my bishop away. Black has got to play rook f to e8. It's a must happen in order to prevent the checkmate from happening. I elected to go ahead and, okay, let's deliver that check right then and there. And then when black is forced to move to f8, now I am up a queen for a bishop. Or actually, right now the material balance is queen. I've got her queen. She's got my knight. Is the equivalent balance here. So now I'm enjoying a fairly commanding position, and I decide. Fritz recommends bishop takes knight here, and I think that's in the vein of, if you're ahead, start simplifying. Simplify out the board to get to a winning endgame. I chose instead, just rather than going full on and take the knight, I just went bishop to d5 here. And I am once again aiming at a pawn, and with the immediate threat of a mate coming. Black again saw this, went ahead and played knight to d8, which does protect that f7 pawn very nicely. I made a small inaccuracy here in just a second. Well, first of all, I played queen to h8 check and forced the king to move again. And then I played rook f to e1 check. And the only inaccuracy, it's not a bad one for me. It's not a blunder by any means. Black has got the option of putting the knight right there, and now putting the knight at e6. And now, with these two rooks looking at my queen, I would have to retreat my queen backwards, probably to h5. I'm not losing anything that I can see, but it does kind of blunt the attack that I had going. Instead of bringing that knight to the e6 square, though, my opponent did what I might have done in her situation, and that's just duck the king out of there, try and get the king to some measure of safety, king to d7. Unfortunately, from this point on, it's pretty well, I'm now going past commanding lead into a winning endgame here. Queen does take e8, takes the rook with check, so I managed to get a rook as well, and again, because my queen is protected, forcing the king to move, to retreat just one more step, and the king had to retreat there. I don't think there was another option. I took a momentary pause because I've got three attackers looking at e6 here, which is the diagonal which the king retreated on. I've got 1, 2, 3 attackers. There's 1, 2 defenders for e6 there. But I still really didn't want to give her any material yet, so I just took a moment to go ahead and take out the pawn, one of the defenders of that square. Believe my opponent she did play b6, and I think she was hoping to have a bolt hole for her king at b7. I'm now, though, fully ready to take this out into an endgame, or to make my final moves here. So I just went D5, bishop to D5, targeting the bolt hole that black just created. I think my opponent moved rook to B8, and certainly the rook was under fire there. I could have taken the rook when it was there, but now I have a little combination that's going to force that to happen anyway. I bring bishop over to C6, and the part of the reason for that is now this rook is forced to shift back over again in the face of rook to D7 would be mate if my opponent didn't move to rook to A8 as she did, and creating the escape square for the king. But there really aren't any escapes left, unfortunately, for black here. Queen goes to D7 with check. King has to take the last maneuver, last safe place, but it's not safe at all because then I finish the game with queen takes D8, mate. This was, as I mentioned earlier, of 8 tournament games, for quick games, for regular games. This was my first tournament win. And this is the sort of game that, I don't know, maybe a stronger player will look at and I hope not laugh at, but see all the possibilities that were there, and maybe never allowed some of the maneuvers that I made in the game, or not play some of the maneuvers that black made. But it's also one of those games that was very, very fun and entertaining for me, because I did have to think out the game and think out the mating net. There were several points here in our game where I was pinning black down, and then defensively black kept on finding the right move. There was one of them. Even in the face of my capture there, black did attempt to defend out, and then when the next one was imminent, she did exactly what she had to do to continue to keep her position at least living and defensive. And it's the sort of give and take that, for me, being a relatively weak player, that I really enjoyed having, and I certainly appreciate having had having played her, and also having my opponent give me a challenge, and I'm hoping she enjoyed the game as well. This pretty much ends the first video that I will be doing for chess, and uploading chess videos and then uploading to YouTube. And I do have a blog as my title card there, and I just covered up a little bit of it as my title card shows, and we'll be looking forward to uploading more videos in the future until I have a chance to broadcast and share with you again. This is LaughingVulcan saying please do, in the meantime, enjoy your chess.